Hello ladies and gentlemen, Paul Chopper here, and today I have a somewhat different video than usual. Instead of covering heroes or certain positions, this is more covering a very important underappreciated role currently that I see even a lot of teams not even use, and that is a frontliner. So first off, what is a frontliner's job? Well, frontliner is a hero that benefits from building like a tank, and funnily enough is the front line of the team. Said hero will go in first to fight to absorb as much damage as possible, giving their team the best chance to deal enough damage to win that engagement. A frontliner is usually someone who can initiate well, like a Steel with his ultimate, Sephiroth with his root and colossal blow, Greystone with his second chance ultimate, Narbas with his stun and his ultimate crash band boon, or even Rampage with his stun and ultimate. The frontliner most times will get destroyed to pieces, but a good frontliner will pick the correct times to engage so they have the backup of their team. But that's what this video is about, showing you how to frontline and why it's really crucial to have one. It's rather popular at the moment to have more weak, high damage heroes being chosen in balls where tank initiator could be played. People would choose Countless or Sephiroth still to jungle even after the most recent changes, or Aurora or Shinbi to offlane. There's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes when you don't have anyone who's going to play tanky on the team, this can be a problem. Even when taking Quan or Grux, people would still rather focus on their burst damage potential they have, which is totally fine as that's how the two heroes work. So this means your team won't have any frontline to protect all these high damage heroes, and if the enemy team has a frontliner like a Rampage and some heavy CC heroes like a mid lane Belica and Deku support, you're going to have a very bad time. So if you are going to be that frontliner, how do you play them? Well, first it's to understand your team most importantly. How aggressive are they compared to the opposition? Which heroes on your team need the most defending, mostly being the carry? How quickly does your team rotate to engagements or objectives like Raptors? And what role do you start as, for example support or jungler? Jungler can be more active on the map to begin with because that's their job. The reason you need to understand this is, for example, if your team are more passive, jumping into a more risky fight may leave you by yourself while your team watches and spams good job. Sometimes it will be your fault, sometimes it will be theirs. That's something you're going to have to learn. You are meant to start those fights and make your team help out, but sometimes, especially even in solo queue, there's only so much you can do. Firstly, stay at the front of your team. Be the shield so any crowd control is directed at you and not your teammates. Body blocking is a very important part of this. You can see here with this Yin, who's been aggressive the entire game, that I just blocked the enemy shots, giving her that help she needs to get the kills. Even if I die or she dies later on, having a caster or carry alive so they can farm or do as much damage as possible in fights will be the difference. They make the most impact late game. Pin telling your team to group up, retreat, or get them ready to fight. Don't just jump in without warning them. I see this way too often. Let them know you are about to engage. You have to build like a tank. See what the enemy have most of. Do they have more basic or ability damage? If so, build that first with health, as health is a lot better with especially some certain utility cards to keep your team alive, like Quinton Scale to Honor the Pure. If you are support, you should build these. Are you against a heavy CC team? Thermobond or Toxic Gel are a must to keep yourself alive and make them use all their crowd control on you rather than your team. That's what a good frontliner does. Know your hero well and know how to initiate with them. This will take time, but say Greystone gives your team a lot of time to know you are initiating because you go in and want to ult on them. Don't be afraid as Greystone to use your ult, so your team can capitalise on that. Still, you want to let your team know your ult is up. Nowadays you want to stun an enemy, hopefully a weak hero like a caster or carry, and then ult right on top, so they have to waste CC to stop the ult. While this is going on, your team should react. Sephiroth, you root them, then use your colossal blow on as many enemies as you can into your team to finish them up. Now I'm going to go over a few situations which show off how you could play with some of my preferred frontliners. First we have Steel. The situation is late game where we've been trailing the entire time. With Steel, his ultimate can create amazing team fight opportunities for your team. I do that just here. I wait for the right moment, get up close, and boom, I grab all three. Unfortunately, my team was not able to follow up with the damage we needed. Like I said, frontliner can only do so much, and if your team doesn't follow up or can't do enough, then that's how the game goes. Next we have my main man Narbas. This play demonstrates that you have to be that aggressive player. I know my Yim is extremely aggressive and I know she will follow me up. She has been doing this the entire game. I also know if I jump on the Sparrow, the phase will just pull her away, so I'm going to put the phase in a tough spot. I go in and ult on the phase while the Sparrow takes the Raptor damage and Yin's attack. Phase pulls her back in panic and both get knocked up on my ult. From then my team pushed advantage and we killed them both. Then we push the out of position Faye. I stun her and then take the tower hit while the Kamara finishes her off. Exactly what you should be doing, playing this aggressive and not scared to get damaged. And lastly we have Sevrog. I start off in Viz and the enemy team has overextended into our jungle. Again with Faze willing to pull them out, I focus her, I lock her down and with the root, and then with the help of my team we are able to kill her quick, leaving the rest of their team very vulnerable. After this I absorb a lot of damage from the Gren and Monolith's ult, so I'm then wasting a lot on myself being very tanky late on in the game. This gives my team the opportunity to clear them up quickly. With someone like Sev, even when I'm low on health, I can help my team from a distance like rooting this greystone in place. This clip more showing how much damage an enemy team can waste on you when they could be using it on weaker targets. You would say they should prioritise the weaker heroes, but good finder makes them scared of you and focus on you. The last thing I want to say is having a hero that does very little damage but with their kit can be extremely useful to the team is a great frontliner. If you build several 0 damage you will still be good for your team as long as you hit those roots and ultimates at the right times. But that about does it for this video. I just wanted to show some love for a role that doesn't get that much and encourage more players to play this role out as it's a lot of fun. But thank you guys very much for watching the whole video, I really appreciate that and I'll see you guys next time.